Hey, welcome back. I'm Dwayne with THOR Core Fitness. I'm a body transformation contest winner, and this is the second half of my guide to cardio training. The first half covered the science of how your body uses energy and when it starts burning fat.
Yes, science!
This half covers how to use that information to burn as much fat as you want and keep it off. If you haven't watched the first half yet, go back and watch that first because we're starting right up where the last guide left off. This is part of a larger series on how to get in any shape you want using just 2 simple steps and no effort at all.
I don't think so, Tim.
No, just kidding. This is basically the opposite of that, teaching you the real methods that influencers actually use to get into shape and then lie to you about so that you'll buy their products or coaching. Isn't that nice? You don't have to buy anything that they're selling. But YouTube's algorithms do a pretty great job of making sure that my videos will never be seen by anyone unless enough people subscribe to the channel and like these videos. I know you've probably been asked to do that about 1,000,000 times already just today, but it really does help, especially with a channel as small as mine. I mean, I'm kind of putting myself out here, which is a little uncomfortable, but I'm doing it to take a stand against the people who profit off lying to you about fitness and to help those who feel helplessly out of control of their own body shape. You can join my cause by just subscribing and watching these videos the day they post, which makes YouTube recommend them to others. It really might reach someone who needs it if you do. Now, let's pick back up where we left off last time. Fortunately for you, you don't have to be Forrest Gump to lose that body fat.
Think I'll go home now.
The calorie equation is calories in versus calories out. Or for fat burning, it's less calories in than are burned out. This is a two-sided equation. So we aren't just focusing on burning calories out, thank God. And we're also not just focusing on less calories in, also, thank God.
What can I say except you're welcome?
That was so weird. So we have 2 areas we can hammer on to melt that fat off. We've already covered how to maximize the calories inside in part 3, diet training. So here, we're going to focus on maximizing calories burned on the outside. Hopefully you've realized for yourself by now that the ideal situation to put yourself in is 4th gear, where your body is using its fat stores for energy. This means that you're not going to go all out with 100% maximal effort, but you're going to have to push through 3rd gear, which is glycolysis. I believe the best way to do this is through longer, sustained, consistent, moderate cardio exercise. I'm talking about cycling, rowing, elliptical, jogging, swimming, boxing. Anything that is constant effort, not start and stop like most sports are. Are sports good for your health? Absolutely, yes. But if the goal is for fat loss, I believe in precision accuracy, doing exercise that maximize every ounce of energy spent towards burning fat. Studies have shown that the elliptical machine burns the most calories for the minimal amount of perceived effort proportionally, so that's a good place to start. Jogging is the first thing that comes to mind of many, but it's actually surprisingly strenuous, and I consider it more of an advanced technique. It's very easy to overtrain with jogging before you've gone for very long, at least at first.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
The body does an amazing job at adapting to what you throw at it, so you will have to increase your efforts as the weeks go by to maintain the same degree of calories burned, either by increasing your time at cardio or switching to something more strenuous. So I recommend saving jogging for later, once you could use the additional challenge. Boxing is a great way to use your upper body for cardio, as most cardio uses the lower body, which when combined with leg strength training can overexhaust your legs after a while. Whatever exercise you choose, the gold standard has always been to go for at least 20 minutes, as it can take that long to burn your body's glycogen stores, so you start burning a higher proportion of fat. 40 minutes minimum is what I always strive for, but at least get to 20. It's also not recommended to go beyond an hour, as there is a point of diminishing returns where risk of injury goes up. Take it from me, I gave myself a stress fracture on my right foot from jogging for too long, too quickly, after getting back into the gym a few years back, and that boot brace definitely hampered my progress for a couple of months. Now, a quick word about precision accuracy I mentioned a moment ago. You need to understand something. Burning fat and building muscle are 2 different processes in the body. Can both happen at the same time? Yeah, sure. The body is unimaginably complex and awesome, so yes, it can. However, for the amount of effort that you put into it, I firmly believe that you get better results if you separate the 2 into different goals. I might really piss off the CrossFit crowd here, or Jason Statham, who believes every workout should improve his real-world stunt abilities. And to them, I would say, if you are really into CrossFit or Orange Theory or any of those intense cardio strength combo trainings, then good for you. Seriously, keep it up. If it's working for you, don't fix what isn't broken. I have nothing against those workouts, but understand that that's a lot of work for many people, so much so that they might not even get up to bat, let alone make it to first base or home plate. And also understand that you will get faster results at both if you separate those goals, if you're actually shooting for a certain body transformation goal and not just improved overall health. Take it from me, I won a medal for most impressive body composition transformation in 3 months' time. My secret, I separated the goals. One workout would be 100% about fat burning, the next would be 100% about muscle gaining. Think about it this way, would you ever do a bunch of squats in the gym and expect to walk out with a tan? Oh, yeah! No, of course not. No amount of lifting will give you a tan because increasing melanin in your skin is a completely separate body mechanism than building muscle and strength. Burning fat is also a completely separate body mechanism than building muscle. Do they overlap? Sure, they both use your arms and legs and muscles and heart, don't they? So naturally there's some minor overlap. But here's what happens when you combine the two. First, you will be too tired to hit either with maximum effort. And as Arnold classically said,
the last 3 or 4 reps is what makes the muscles grow. This area of pain divides the champion from someone else who is not a champion.
Okay, that's not working. That's what most people lack, having the guts to go on and just say they'll go through the pain no matter what happens. You won't even make it to those last 3 or 4 reps if you're too exhausted or weakened to do it. You're going to end up with either a shortened cardio session burning less fat than you could have, or a weakened strength training session gaining less muscle than you could have because you couldn't hit those last reps. Arnold also mentioned in his Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding a technique called the priority principle. Whatever you put at the beginning of your workout is going to get the best results because it gets the attention of the freshest and strongest you.
He's the best.
Before you've done anything else to tire it out. There is no priority principle if you're doing cardio and strength training at the same time. You're always going to be somewhat depleted from your strongest self. And the diet needs are different too. Good cardio is often done on a type of fast right when someone wakes up, so their glycogen stores are already depleted and they can burn a higher proportion of fat right from the get-go. Strength training is usually better on a full-ish stomach, or at least definitely not while fasted. I used to lift lighter when I was on a fat-burning regimen, then lift heavier when I was on a muscle-building regimen. I kept the goals completely separate, hitting my body fat goal before switching gears completely and trying to gain muscle in a calorie surplus. Then I realized the body doesn't go by time like we do. It doesn't look at the amount of calories consumed from sun up to sundown like our fitness apps do. So who's to say I can't push those times a little closer? Calorie deficit surrounding my cardio workout, calorie surplus surrounding my strength gaining sessions, and hitting those sessions as hard as if I were in a bulking phase. The body uses and recycles resources as it needs them, and it can switch gears amazingly quick. But I still kept them as separate workouts, and this was my secret key to burning both fat and gaining muscle at the same time.
You gotta keep them separated.
So what if you're just trying to pack on some muscle or increase your strength and you're not trying to burn body fat? Do I still need to slug through these cardio exercises? Or in other words, does cardio make me stronger? Let me answer that with a resounding yes. Do you need to do as much cardio? No, probably not. Does cardio in itself make you stronger? Not really, not as much as weightlifting anyway. But cardio does make you stronger indirectly. I guarantee you, if you add cardio to your regimen, even just 2 times a week, you will notice your lung capacity, stamina, and endurance all increase the next time that you go to lift weights. And that adds up to much more energy for lifting those extra reps and lifting extra hard. And that, ladies and gentlemen, definitely makes you stronger. So there is one exception to the not combining both cardio and strength rant that I just got off. I believe in stretching and warming up before each exercise, and sometimes a light 10-minute cycle or jog or elliptical is just the thing to get the heart beating and warm up the muscles. The difference is I in no way consider this a cardio exercise. I don't even count it for cardio. And the second I feel like I'm getting winded or exerting myself a little too much, I shut the machine off and I move on to my weight training. Now take a look at this thingy-majingy. You've probably seen one of these plastered on a cardio machine if you've ever been in a gym before. There's some contention that these are outdated, and I do dispute the categories somewhat, but I want to show you this for the one labeled target heart rate zone. I do believe the studies show this to be a great spot for cardio fat burning. I think the fat burning zone probably does burn some fat, but not very quickly. Generally speaking, if you can burn more calories while still staying out of that anaerobic zone in the same amount of time, then you're going to burn more fat as well. So I recommend shooting around that 65 to 85% range of your maximal heart rate by age. If you're 20 years old, you're shooting for 130 beats per minute to 170 beats per minute. If you're 40, you're shooting for 120 to 150 BPM. But you can read a chart, right? By the way, you got to get a heart rate monitor or make sure you hold on to those things on the cardio machines that read your heart rate, but they might not be as accurate. During my experiment right now, where I'm not taking any supplements, not even protein powder, to prove to you that you don't need them, I'm alternating between cardio and strength training. So today will be cardio, tomorrow will be strength training, the day after is back to cardio and back and forth. During my competitions, I do 2 workouts per day, one in the morning, one in the evening, but I still alternate between cardio and strength every other workout. You don't have to do that many unless you really want to move at the maximum speed possible, but I don't recommend it if it will wear you out and make you loathe the gym. You need to tell yourself over and over again, I am really looking forward to my next workout. I love going to the gym as much as you can so you don't start dreading the thought of it. And while I'm on that note, there's only one other topic to mention, and that's high intensity interval training, or HIIT for short. HIIT is awesome in my opinion, and the science backs it up, but it can be difficult and dreadful for the average person, which is why I haven't mentioned it until now. It's much easier to look forward to a moderate 40-minute cycling session than an all-out maximal effort shorter session. If you've never heard of it before, HIIT is where you give all-out effort for a short burst of explosive energy, and then you slow down for a rest period of a minute or so, and then repeat and repeat and repeat. The one I've heard the most success stories from is called the 10x1 HIIT. You do very intense effort, although not 100% of your max, more like 90%. So you do that for 1 minute, then you drop down to a very slow rest period for 1 minute, but you're still moving. So repeat that 10 times. It's only 20 minutes, not including the warm up and cool down, but you'll burn a ton of calories in that 20 minutes. However, this needs to be said, my research shows that it still doesn't burn more than a longer, moderate paced cardio session. So my rule of thumb for the past decade or so has been, if I only have 20 minutes or less for a workout, do high intensity interval training. If I have more time, do a traditional moderate paced cardio session. Make sense? And lastly, do I even need to mention that you should be drinking water? You should be drinking water.
And that's what I call high quality H2O.
Thanks, Bobby Boucher. Honestly, is that news to anyone who's heard it? Skip the sugary exercise drinks. They're all a joke when it comes to fat loss. Drink water, and drink quite a bit, though you don't have to be sloshing when you walk around. Drinking gallons of water is also bad for you too. I've seen it personally. And David Grisafi, the ab Raiden, is a firm believer in drinking a full glass of water immediately upon waking up in the mornings. Seems like sound advice to me. The guy trains champions. So the next time someone says they want to tone down their body, just tell them to tone it down a bit. This thing on? Tell them you'd rather shed some body fat percents and pack on some muscle pounds, and I'll tell you which one I'd bet on to be in better shape by summer. Now go become worthy of your maximum potential and earn your dream body.